Welcome into another episode of the Belhaven Football Coaches Show. I'm Kenneth Nash, and joining me as always, Belhaven head coach Blaine McCorkle. Coach, thanks for jumping on.
Thank you.
The Blazers are coming off of a big-time 42-15 win over Southwestern University just this past weekend, Belhaven's home opener. And, Coach, we're going to talk a lot about this game. Once again, ton of highlights to go through. It was a really, really fun atmosphere. A long game. We'll talk about that as well. 5 hours from kickoff to when it ended. But let's go ahead and just talk about just the overarching kind of feel from this game. This was a game y'all lost last year to Southwestern, and this was one you wanted back really badly. I knew that when we talked, you wanted to get this game back. What is it like to go win this football game and in the fashion you did?
Well, it means a lot to our program. It is one that we wanted back. You know, when we made the announcement that we were leaving the ASC, I think within an hour, every team in the ASC called wanting to play. And I think this is one that our kids really wanted. We felt like a year ago, this is one that really slipped away from us. We didn't play at our best. We let our guard down. We let them do some things, dictate the game to us a year ago that are uncharacteristic, and just culturally we didn't handle the game a year ago well. So I wanted to get this one back on the schedule and see if we learned our lesson, because at the end of the day, you know, one thing I told the kids earlier in the week preparing for this game is, you know, my job is to grow men. I just want to grow men. You know, so I feel like God's called me here to do, and part of that is, have you learned your lesson? You know, do you learn from your mistakes and move on? So playing this game was really important for us from a program standpoint. And every time you play Southwestern, win or lose, doesn't matter the result, you leave a better football team, because they are a tough, gritty, well-coached team. They'll expose you in a lot of areas. And to play them the second week of the year to kind of learn some lessons right off the bat was really valuable. So it was a good night.
Absolutely. It was a long night as well. I mentioned that. Kickoff at 7 o'clock, and then you had a almost 2-hour lightning delay partway through the second quarter. I want to talk about that real quick, because that's just a strange situation that players, as much as preparation as you can do, you can't really prepare for that. And because it's not just a fixed, you're going to stop here and you're going to restart in an hour. It's 30 minutes from every lightning strike, and so it keeps pushing on and on. How do you keep your guys engaged? How do you keep them ready? And then when you come back out, how do you keep, get the energy back up, I guess, on the field?
Yeah, well, you do prepare for it. It is something you prepare for, but you do never know how long it's going to be.
Exactly.
You know, and in my career, I've been in 2 or 3 lightning delays. They happen. You know, there's nothing you can do about them, but I don't know that I remember one this long. You know, I think you mentioned we were 4 hours and 57 minutes start to finish. That's a long time. So we were in the locker room for an hour and a half. But we do have a plan when those things come up. If it's really wet, you know, we try to get our guys new socks, new pants if we can, things like that. You know, Ray, our trainer, and Coach Wood, our strength coach, they have very definitive jobs during that time period to make sure guys are hydrated, well-fed, have the things they need to be ready to go back out there. The thing, as you mentioned, you can't prepare for is the length, and it was long. But our guys handled it well. They stayed calm. You know, everybody kind of kept their focus, just had good, quiet conversation about the game in the locker room. And when it was time to go back out, we were ready, and I was proud of the way they responded. You know, prior to it, though, I will say that was an incredible atmosphere.
Absolutely.
Had a great crowd, maybe the best crowd that we've had since we've been here outside of a Millsaps game. You know, so it was really neat to see it standing room only. You know, if you look on top of the stadium, there was people just 3 or 4 deep up top just looking for a seat. And so many people came up after and said, I couldn't find a seat. I said, great, come back again. We'll find you one. So really good night at Belhaven.
Yeah, it was. As far as the game went, you guys got off to a pretty quick start once again on both sides of the ball. When you came out for the second quarter, you got the score going into halftime. Second half was a little bit of a slower start for y'all, and we saw some penalties start to rack up. But you were able to still, refocus and keep your foot on the gas. Does that say a lot about your players that, it was kind of an awkward situation? You come out of a 2-hour rain delay or weather delay, then you go into halftime 15 minutes later, and then you got to restart again, and it was a little bit, choppy. But does that say a lot about your guys to keep the foot on the gas?
Yeah, it does. And that third quarter was long and slow, and it was a little bit stale. But I think our guys recognized it. They responded. They refound their energy. And in the fourth quarter, we were able to really pull away from it, which was big. It would have been nice to come out and pull away a little bit sooner. But again, this is all about learning lessons. Yeah. So if we find ourselves in this situation again, what did we learn from it? Well, you got to come out of the break ready to go.
Absolutely.
And I don't think that we weren't not ready to go, but they realize now just how much it has to be. So good lessons for us to learn, and hopefully we're not in that situation again, but if we are, we'll be ready.
Absolutely. Before we get into the highlights, let's talk about just a couple of players, and we'll start with the first one. Carlton Brown had a record-breaking night, 6 tackles for loss, 4 sacks, both of those single-game records. Obviously, he was an All-American last year with the AFCA, but this was probably his most dominant performance. He had a blocked field goal as well. Most dominant performance wearing the green and gold.
Yeah, really proud of Carlton's performance, and I mentioned a few minutes ago that this game was important to us, and we wanted to get back on the schedule to see if we learned our lessons. And he's one of those guys that probably needed to learn some lessons from last year's game, and he would tell you that. So really proud of how he responded and showed up to compete. And he was on fire. It was really fun to watch. Coach Connor was talking earlier today as we were kind of going through our grades and things like that. Neither one of us can ever remember seeing or experiencing a head-up nose on a center having that dominant of a night statistically. It was fun to watch and impressive. And the beautiful thing about Carlton is he's not even close to playing his best football. He's got so much still in the tank that he can let out, and it's going to be fun to watch him continue to grow. Absolutely.
On the offensive side of the ball, your running game was really, really stout. You had almost three rushers in 100 yards, 2 in 100 yards, and then Deontay Galashaw finished with 93. 3 rushing touchdowns, big plays, but you were able to control the line of scrimmage, 325 yards rushing as a team. That feels like it's kind of the ethos or kind of the MO for your team. When you're playing well, you just dominate the line of scrimmage, and it felt like you did this on Saturday.
Yeah, we did. Big guys up front played well. Zay Stevens did a great job setting up some things. We'll see a highlight here in a minute. Cole McAlpin was physical. All of them across the board did a great job, and we play a lot of guys in there, and that's good, so we can keep some of them fresh. So it's a good group up there that did really well. Now, when they watch this film later today, there's going to be some things that they're really disappointed in, and I'm excited about that. Because from the outside looking in, we dominated running the ball. We were really physical, but there's still a lot of room to grow, and that group's going to keep getting better as the year goes on too, and that's really exciting. But our running back room is pretty fun. It's a special group of kids, and what's neat is you have 3 guys close to 100 yards, and they're all cheering for each other. They're all so proud of each other's performances. Devin, who on paper, you might say he's our 3rd running back. Well, he just broke Kobe Blunt's, longest rush in Belhaven history. So that's pretty cool. So really excited about what we're doing there. But at the same time, we threw 3 touchdown passes.
Exactly.
So we're extremely balanced in that. And running the ball well allows you to throw those 3 passes because people have the assumption that's who we are, but we can chunk it down the field when we need to as well.
Absolutely. Like I said, we've got a lot of great highlights to take a look at. Let's go ahead and dive into those. It was a dominant performance in all 3 phases, and we talked about Carlton Brown. Here's his blocked field goal. Made a really, really nice play, and this kind of sparked you guys on to kind of take control in the first half.
Yeah, Carlton is as good as he is sacking the quarterback. He's got an knack for blocking kicks too, and I think he broke the school record last year, if I'm not mistaken, in block kicks. Gets another one here. They tried a 54-yard field goal, which is a long one. Sometimes that kicker gets his driver out and hits it low, but Carlton had a really good push there, and TJ was able to recover the fumble, or the blocked kick there, rather. And if you remember back to the spring season 2 seasons ago, we blocked a field goal against them, and TJ took it to the house.
Yep.
So that was a good sign that was coming again, and we won that game 2 years ago. So set us up for some good stuff on offense, gave us great field position on the next play. I think 3 of our first 4 drives started off in plus territory because of what our defense was doing, and that was outstanding.
Absolutely. We talked about the running backs room being really talented. Here's Colby Blunt not running the ball, making a nice play, 38-yard touchdown reception, got open. It was a dime from Tim Johnson for the score.
Yeah, great throw from Tim here, and a play that we put in this week, and we really kind of set up for this great game. Good job by KJ Hickman getting across the field and holding some traffic, and Colby got out there on the wheel route, and Tim put it right on him. And first play after the block kick, we wanted to take a shot and just really swing the momentum, and we did. And good energy on the sideline, you can see there too. Pretty exciting play to put us up 7-0 there early in the first quarter.
Absolutely. We talked about Cooper Martin last week, I should say, because he made a couple of really nice plays against Millsaps. Here he is blowing one up in the backfield, forces the fumble. Corey Tolliver with the fumble recovery.
Yeah, I was able to really brag on Cooper last week, and I was glad I was able to do that. Just with his explosion and his ball get off, and really a similar play. Last week, Millsaps ran the speed sweep across, and he intercepted the runner basically, and here he is getting in the backfield again about the time the handoff's there, and get the recover from Corey Tolliver. Corey Tolliver had a great stat line as well. He played a really good night all around. So again, there's the defense giving the ball back to the offense in really good field position.
Absolutely. KJ Hickman's a receiver we talked about earlier in the years, being a guy that you think is taking a lot of steps forward, and he makes a really nice grab here. Tim Johnson just throws it up where only KJ can get there, and he goes up and gets it.
Yeah, KJ's big, tall, physical receiver. He was here all summer just working as hard as he can and getting his body right, and there you see just the vertical. He can get up and go get it, and really fun player, and that was a great play. We're excited KJ made that touchdown right there. But if you watch KJ block throughout the course of this game, it's incredible. In 2 weeks in a row, he's really dominated out there on the edge. I think we'll probably see a highlight here in a few minutes of him doing just that, and really excited about what he's doing as a complete football player. So good play for KJ, and a good ball there for Tim to put it where nobody could get it but him.
One big energy play, and one where it felt like you really held on to the momentum. Southwestern had the ball inside your 5-yard line, 1st and goal. Got off a number of plays, but on this 4th and goal attempt, Corey Tolliver blows it up in the backfield, prevents the score, gets the ball back for Belhaven.
Yeah, they actually had, I think they had 6 plays down there because they got first and goal down there. Then on second down, I think we had a pass interference that reset the downs to first down. Our defense held, got them to fourth down. They tried to run the option here to the right, and Corey's able to make a big play in the backfield and get the offense the ball back. So great defensive play here, getting the goal line stand by Corey. And I love the energy after the play. Corey just fired up to make a play. Connor Fordham chasing him down the field to celebrate with him. And guys just excited for each other. That's what you like seeing, is when another guy makes a play and his teammates are just so excited for him. That's pretty good stuff.
We mentioned Devin Daniels. This was the record-breaking run, longest rush in program history. Colby Blunt said that a year ago against Sol Ross with 84 yards. This an 86-yard touchdown run, and once he was off to the races, nobody's catching him.
Yeah, this was a 2-play, 98-yard drive.
Yeah.
So it's pretty exciting stuff. And this is right after Corey made that big hit there on the goal line. We had a big drive there. Excited for Devin. This was a play that our offensive staff put together midweek that was really good. They play a lot of man coverage, and we knew those safeties would chase some action. So our tight end comes across, and then we send Colby in the pitch path, and it pulled those safeties away, as you can see there on the film, and really opened up the front side for Devin. And when he put his foot in the ground, there's nobody there to make a play. And then he was off to the races. And excited for Devin to break Colby's record. You know, he's really, I guess, as we mentioned, he's kind of number 3 on the depth chart, but he's not, and that was exciting. One thing about his record as opposed to Colby's is he actually scored. So Colby didn't score on his a year ago. So good for Devin. We're excited for him on that play right there.
Absolutely. We mentioned Carlton and 4 sacks. Here's one of those sacks right here. Just gets after it, and he really was dominant at the line of scrimmage this weekend.
Yeah, he was. Our defense as a whole, Coach Connors and the defensive staff put a lot of work into this game plan, and really have been for a year. After they come over here last year and really kind of exposed us in a lot of areas, our defense put a lot of stock and a lot of pride into their game plan and what they wanted to do. And this is just one more play that Carlton makes, and they executed extremely, extremely well. Watching Carlton make sacks, I'm not going to say it gets boring, but it's like that's what he does. So that's one of many that we could put on here.
Absolutely. Now, this was a big play, not a score, but 3rd and long, and it was a nice play, nice catch on the sideline by Terry Jones. But he stays in bounds, breaks a couple of tackles, turns it into a first down. Yeah,
you see over and over in this game just a lot of just fight and grit and determination from all of our kids. Carlton's example there and Corey's excitement there, but right here it's 3rd and a mile, and he's bound and determined to get this first down, makes a couple guys miss. He understands the situation. He knows he's got to get a first down to keep the drive alive, and just the determination, the effort he showed right there was incredible. So big play there to keep a drive alive.
Absolutely. And Cooper Tullo, not to be left out of the wide receiver conversation. We saw him with the big touchdown last week. Another one here, 27-yard touchdown pass. Just got kind of lost behind the defense, and it was a nice throw coming back across the field by Tim Johnson.
Yeah, really good throw by Tim here. This was right before the half. I think 2 or 3 seconds left on the clock when he scored to put us up 28-0 going to the half, and he's able to get the defensive backs hips turned there and get underneath it, and Tim puts it right on him. He went up and made a great catch. So 2 weeks in a row, Cooper has a touchdown for us, and he's doing a great job.
Colby Blunt had a 73-yard touchdown last week, 59-yard touchdown run here, and you mentioned when we were kind of prepping for this, this is something you work on. He makes a really nice cut, makes the last defender miss, and then he's gone.
Yeah, Colby is a talent. There's no question about that. Phenomenal running back and very gifted. And a lot of people will see the end of this play and say, oh, we just made a nice cut. But that is a drill that we do for both sides of the ball. It's really a defensive drill that our offense takes part in. We call it box tackle, where you put one runner between the numbers and the sideline, and it's a one-cut tackling drill. And here he is. He's outside the numbers, and he makes one cut, makes the guy miss, gets inside of him. That's the drill.
Yep.
And I would hope if our defense was in the same position, they would say this is the box tackle drill. We're getting the guy on the ground. But great job, one, being extremely gifted and talented, but then taking coaching as well, making that one cut on his inside shoulder and finishing the run off.
Chance Taylor's a player we've talked a lot about, making kind of stepping into newer roles, I should say. And you mentioned he's kind of been a journeyman throughout his Belhaven career. You say he's a player that never gives up, and this play is the ethos of that. Makes an incredible sack, just keeps fighting, makes the play.
Yeah, a lot like Terry Jones's 3rd and 20 a minute ago. This is just great effort and never quit, and just understanding and fighting and finishing the play. And we want that to be the hallmark of our team. Just kids that are going to fight to the finish, and play's never over till that whistle blows.
Yeah.
And you keep playing hard, and Chance did that right there and came across the formation twice to make the play. So he's got great effort and really excited about what he's doing.
Absolutely. Deontay Galashaw didn't want to be left out of the running back party here. 65-yard touchdown run. He had a big run last week as well. We mentioned the running back room full of explosiveness and full of talent.
Yeah, it is. Excited for Deontay really to finish the game off for us here. And this really completely separated and kind of ended the game. Wish we'd have done that in the third quarter to get some guys in there a little bit sooner, but he was able to do that. But two blocks of note here. You see our left guard there, Zay Stevens, just being really patient when the linebacker sits backside and open that thing up. And then there's KJ Hickman, who we mentioned a minute ago, just blocking all the way down the field, giving great effort, and excited to see his buddy Tay get the touchdown there. KJ's dad was an offensive lineman in the SEC, so he better block.
Yeah.
He's a receiver now, but if he's not blocking out there on the edge, his dad will probably let him know about it. So excited for all three of those kids, two guys blocking for him, and then Deontay taking it in the end zone.
Absolutely. It was a fantastic block. And we finished with one of the freshmen who really made some outstanding plays in the fourth quarter. He really started to show up, and he comes up with a sack here, another one of these just pure effort plays.
Yeah, Landry Huddleston, freshman linebacker that we're really, really excited about. And if you come to one of our games and you like to see people run fast and hit hard, just watch Landry Huddleston cover kicks, because he gets down there and he'll try to take your head off. But great athletic play here by a freshman to get cut there and get up, pop on his feet, and not give up on it and make the sack. Kind of like Chance did a minute ago, and kind of like Terry Jones did. Again, we want that to be our hallmark, is just hard-fighting kids that never give up. Landry Huddleston, interesting enough, his parents are both Belhaven alums. His dad played football here, and he's our first legacy football player at Belhaven.
Awesome. Yeah.
As we talked all year about celebrating our 25th year, his dad was one of the guys playing in the green and gold in the early years, and we're excited to see his son kind of carry that on in their family.
Absolutely. So you kind of go through those highlights, and you mentioned that effort and hard work and determination is kind of what you want to be the hallmark of your team. Through 2 weeks, you're coming up on an open date. Through 2 weeks, have you feel like you've seen that even elevated from last year, where you had what was the best season in Belhaven history? Have you seen that even taken up a further step?
I've seen it go up, but it's never enough.
Yeah.
We're never going to be satisfied with our effort and with our determination, with our grit, with our toughness, because there's always more. We talk about always being at a 10. Our players know exactly what that means. If you show up at the highest level, we call it a violence scale or intensity scale, if you will, at a level 10, well, you're always in good shape.
Yeah.
If you show up at an 8 and that guy shows up at a 9, anything above that's a risk. So we don't want to leave a risk out there. So we want to stay at a 10 all the time and play with a lot of effort. So we're always working on that. We're always preaching that. And that's who we want to be. We talk a lot about, yes, last year was the best season in program history, but it's never enough. There's still a lot of people ranked higher than us.
Yep.
There's a lot of people, we want to be in the football world competing with the Mary Hardin Baylors, the Hardin Simmons, the Wisconsin Whitewaters. That's the premier programs at our level, and we're not there yet. So we've got a lot of work to do. So there's always room to improve.
Absolutely. Mention the open date. You've got that coming up. Just kind of walk us through what that looks like from a preparation standpoint, and does the week change very much, or is it business as usual? There's just no game on Saturday.
No, the week changes pretty significantly. There's no game to get ready for this week, so we'll spend a lot of times healing up some bodies. There's a couple guys that we'll pull back their reps and let them heal up a little bit. We're in great shape health-wise, but we'll get some bumps and bruises here and there that we want to take care of. It's a great opportunity for guys to get ahead in the classroom, so we'll really focus on making sure guys are in class and going to study hall and ahead of the game there. And then we will start a little bit of preparation as the week goes for Huntington, our next opponent. But we want to take care of ourselves. We want to keep developing, find the holes, find what's been missing these first two games, and evaluate where we are to improve to go forward. And it's a great week for our young guys to play. Every day that we go out to practice this week, our rookies, they're going to scrimmage live and get after it and have fun, because they don't get a lot of game reps. They play the scout team, and we want them to know that we hadn't forgot them, and we want to see them keep getting better. So a lot of work to be done this week, even though there's no game on Saturday.
And this is a question I kind of asked last week, but you've got the open date in between non-conference and conference play, and you start off conference play against Huntington. We'll get to them in just a second. But having that break, I guess, or that open date in between conference and non-conference, does it kind of let you reset and have a new season that's kind of your quote-unquote conference season?
It does. Every game you play counts, so it's not like these are preseason games. They definitely count, and they can have ramifications at the end of the season with strength of schedule and things like that. But this is a new conference that we've never been in. Every opponent the rest of the way is brand new to us. We're brand new to all them, so it is going to give us a little bit of time to, as you said, reset, kind of look a little bit deeper into who we're getting ready to play and what they're about. And it really is like two distinct seasons. So, a lot of times you'd like your open date to come a little bit later in the year, but this year being the first time in a new conference probably comes at a good time for us to see where some things are.
And let's take a quick look ahead. You have Huntington in 2 weeks on September 24th. So you're kicking off conference play on the road against the reigning conference champs, who are coming off a really big win over Birmingham Southern this past weekend. Can you just give us a little bit of a look? We'll obviously prep for them a little bit more next week, but a little bit of a look at what Huntington is and what you're seeing and what we can expect in a couple weeks.
In the USA South, Huntington is the standard.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. Our previous conference, it was Mary Hardin Baylor. In this conference, it's Huntington.
Yeah.
I think they've won 5 of the last 7 conference championships.
I think that's right.
I think they've won 6 overall. They've been to the playoffs more times than we can count. They're a good football team. They're extremely well coached. Mike Turk is a guy that I've known who he is since I was 10 or 11 years old watching him play.
Yeah.
And he is a first-class man who runs a great program.
Mm-hmm.
And we will really find out who we are in 2 weeks. There's no question. And our kids will be fired up and ready to go. I think we've got 38, maybe 40 kids from Alabama playing over there. So right off the bat in the new conference, we get to play the best there is. So how exciting is that for our kids to find out in a hurry? If you want to be the champ, you got to beat the champ. Well, in this conference, if you want to be the champ, you better beat Huntington.
Yeah.
Because they're for real and they're going to be prepared and they're going to be well coached. They're going to be tough. And they're going to be physical and they're going to have great schemes. So we got our work cut out for us. So it'll be a good 2 weeks.
Absolutely. So the Blazers take on Huntington 2 weeks' time, September 24th. We'll be back next week. We'll talk a little bit more about that game and get you ready for that. But, Coach, obviously a great win on Saturday. Congratulations to that, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you.